Here's a gentleman out of Monroeville, Ohio. This place is Utica, New York. No, I have a YouTube channel.
Oh, do you?
And I've just started filming when I go to conventions and show who's here, what's there, how far people come from just to set up and to sell. And
I didn't know if you took pictures out and put them in different things, publications and stuff.
yeah, no, I don't get that much. I'm not that technical. In fact, it's tough enough to even have a channel sometimes. But thank you.
Have a good day.
I hear some. "3D pictures." That's kind of neat. Snowshoe clocks. Looks like nice looking work too.
How you doing, guys?
I don't see a sign here.
What type of man are you
I'm worried about what you said.
I got you. Oh, yeah, we're tied up. I know, all the other going market and stuff, but I wish keep me in mind.
Kansas Trapline products. Clothing, books, DVDs,
You got $90.
lures, knives,
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
all kinds of lure.
How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. How about
Good.
yourself?
Well, good. You do some canine trapping, or?
Well, I try to.
Yeah?
I'm not going to tell you I'm the greatest. I love the water trap the most,
I got
but
you.
you
Can
know,
I show you a couple things?
you can show me anything.
Yeah.
My name is Steve, and I have a YouTube channel called SES Outdoors, and that's
Very
what
nice,
I'm
Steve.
filming for.
Very nice. Well, I'm Ed Snyder, Kansas Trapline.
Right.
And so I want to show you. I want to show you a very mild lure. This is a nice early season. It's called Last Dance. It is a mouse base. It is mild.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
nice to use early season. The ingredients are, this lure is also used on 1080s. Great to use at your grab and die type of stuff like that, you know.
Boy, and that lingers. Just even since you closed the lid,
Yeah.
that has lingered, and I'm still getting.
Oh, it's still there. I mean, it's.
and,
got
I mean,
a-
and it is mild, but it's potent enough that you don't.
So this one, they're going to use this on those cyanide guns. And what's important about those types of lures, and this is what makes it nice for regular trappers, the animal has to bite, pull for the cyanide gun to go off. This isn't a lick. This isn't a urinate. They have to bite and pull on it. You know, and on an alternative from
So
that,
it's a curiosity that's going to draw them in, but it's a flavor that wants to make them
that
react.
wants to do it.
So if you had this down a hole, they're going to want to dig to get
They're
it.
going to want to go for it. They
And
wanna
that
go a
means
little
feet
farther.
movement.
Yes, that's right. Now, Positive Attraction is in the same family. It's also a cyanide gun, but this one's used when it's much cooler. It is the loudest food odor I have. It hangs in the air. It's not something you want to use early season. It's something you want to use once we start getting to 35 degrees for a high and cooler.
Now
That's called Positive Attraction,
That
and that's Monty Dodson's gun.
seemed to have just a slight bit of taint to it,
It does have some taint. to
Slight.
it. A slight, yeah.
and that's what gives some of the stronger longer.
That's why you want to use this when it cools off a little bit.
Okay.
You know, everything has these are all tools, so they all, you know, like this being the 1/2-inch wrench, this is the 9/16. So we have a time and place that we want to use these.
Now, when
types
we're
of
talking temperature too for people,
Yeah.
you know, you could be, and it depends on where you're at.
Yeah.
Up here in New York State, I'm down in PA.
Yep.
October is 2 different things.
2 total different environments.
So,
yeah.
temperature-wise, you would be anywhere down to maybe say 30s for
Yeah.
this
You
one,
bet. You
Last
bet.
Dance.
Yep, yep.
Now at freezing point and below,
Yeah, then
Then-
we start moving on to a little bit louder of
The
a
positive
food lure.
attraction.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, and like I said, the other side of it is it's another tool, even within the same trap line. What if, for whatever reason, he decided to shy away from that particular odor?
Right.
Maybe he had a bad experience with a mouse-based lure before. Also, now we have a second set to really put the steel on his foot. You know, you know, and in my own trapping, I like to give the animals about 3 looks in their travel.
Right.
Sometimes they might have missed the set altogether.
The first
Sometimes the
time?
wind was all the way
Right.
around. The third way is they might have just avoided that type of a set, but one of them is going to connect, you know, and
Right.
along their travel. The fastest way I find to catch more coyotes is to get rid of the residents to begin with. So
Okay.
once I whack them, new coyotes come in. It's just a highly efficient machine that way.
and the mistake I have made with lures is over applying.
yeah,
Too much.
Yeah.
And I can see right there by that smell of that lure
yeah.
that if you put too much, he can decide from 10 foot away or 5
Yeah,
foot
yeah,
away
yeah, yeah.
and make his evaluation and not even come in.
Yeah, and understanding what that lure is supposed to do. This is both of these are a lure.
A bite
that
and
the
grab.
animals want to bite on. They want to bite and they want to take it with them or consume it. So that's what's nice about them. Whereas we get into this is Alpine Call is actually something I use with a dirt hole set early season. Again, it's a mild to have it. You can smell kind of a caramel cashewy type of an odor.
Yeah, that has a whole totally different.
It does.
And
Now,
let me
yeah.
show that one too.
Yeah, that's Alpine Call. Now, what I do this is with my dirt hole sets, I'll smear a little. I'll make my dirt hole, bait in the hole, smear a little bit of this on the back lip of the hole. This sometimes is the reason they got the visual of the dirt hole. They know it's there, but sometimes this is the reason that brings them in. That's
Yeah.
and then the food odors in the hole will finish the job.
Right.
You know.
And again, make them want to
Make
go
them
after
want
it.
to come in. Moving on up.
Now let me ask you this real
Yeah,
quick.
you bet.
It sounds like you were a trapper first, I'm going to
Oh
assume.
yeah, by all means.
Then
yeah.
you became a lure maker.
A lure maker. Yeah.
And that transition came from just the love of trapping
That's
and a
what it is.
business too.
Yep.
But you can tell the passion in your voice.
Yeah.
And I think we could stand here till this goes dry and the battery dies.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and it's amazing. And I mentioned to one other guy, I've messed around a little bit with trying to do lures. It's not as easy as what you think.
No.
I'm not talking going to Dollar General and getting cherry flavored raisins and putting them out for raccoon.
Yeah.
But when you're getting into the canine,
I'm going to tell you about my first stories of lure making because I think it's kind of interesting anyway, and I think this applies to a lot of trappers. The very first lure I made, just to use this as an example, not that it's the thing, is I put a little bit of mouse in for a little bit of food. I put a little fox gland in it for a little bit of
Claw.
territorial type thing. Maybe a little lovage, a little mink gland. Wouldn't hurt to put in a little bit of muskrat gland in it, and just a drop of tonklin. Well, anyway, I had my lure. Then my second lure, ironically, I put a little lovage oil, a little bit of mouse, and anyway, I got into where all of a sudden I realized I'm giving every animal the kitchen sink.
there you go.
And the fact is with good lure making, sometimes it's the two odors together that create a third odor. And also I stayed, if I want it to be musky, I learned how to keep it musky and get away from it. So every one of these, at one time, I've been doing this for 27 years, every one of these was more or less an epiphany or a need. So as like I said, we went with the mouse. I got a couple of mouse. Then I started getting into some different ones. Blood Runner has a cow afterbirth in it, so it comes off. It has its time and place.
Well, now
to
see,
be
that's
used.
pretty interesting because you know coyotes in cattle are going to go after the sacks
they go for
and the
it.
freshborn.
And I think I got also a lot of guys that are
Wow.
using this post deer season. It definitely, you can actually smell the kind of more of a placenta odor. It's real mild. But
it is,
you know, but it has its time and place that I think it works.
And there again, we're talking about an animal that's 100 times better than you and I.
By all means.
And they don't need to have that heavy dosage.
No, they don't. No.
So, wow, that's fascinating.
And then finally we get up here, even into the skunks. Skunk is skunk, but what we can do with it is we can try to tell the animal there's a little twist to it. Final Destination, as an example, I think you're going to be able to smell the civety undertone with that skunk. Has a, the thing about
the skunk is right there, boom, but
boom.
Some skunk, some of these calls, you open them up and the skunk just burns you right away.
Yeah.
That didn't burn me, and I did pick up something.
Yeah, you picked up that civet odor underneath of it. And I tell you, it's funny though, I start using these skunky lures when it's about 35 degrees for a high. I don't use them early season. That's why I got some milder curiosities. I think we can sometimes, we're asking too, what will happen is you can overwhelm a coyote or a fox just as fast as it. So you want to start off maybe mild early season as temperatures cool. You start adding a little bit different product.
And let me ask you this, on these calls, especially with a skunk.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong, this is just with my opinion, and I'm certainly open to anything as far as suggestion, but not so much want to place it at your dirt hole, not so much want to place it right at your flat set. You want to have it.
You can put it up high, hang it on a limb,
get it up
put
away,
on a fence post,
bring them in, and that's what it's
and
designed
then
to do.
let your other set take over from there.
Right, okay.
And then finally, and I know a lot of guys up here in New York that like Fisher. I use it on fox and coyotes, but this is Oklahoma. Now this one comes off as a total different kind of a skunk. It's definitely got a sweet skunk.
That reminds me of that aged skunk that they sell.
Yep, that is what it
skunk,
is. It's a sweet skunk.
Yeah, sweet skunk. There you go.
And that is what this one. So it's not overpowering. It's mellow. It's really nice to use. It even works very good at your flat type sets. But they all have their own different direction they want to go in. And I think that's the main thing is I'm asking myself, what do I want to tell the coyote to do?
And would you also want to match it to the type of set you're doing?
You bet. Yeah.
So
exactly.
you essentially, you can just get a couple lures. Now, I say that, but like I'm from PA.
Yeah.
We have a lot of trappers. In fact, where I live, there's a lot of trappers.
Yeah.
So if everyone's a fan of Hawbakers or Russ Carmen's or of yours, and this coyote's traveling 100 miles or 50 miles, whatever, how many sets has he come across before he comes back to mine? And has he smelled my lure before?
Now, when you look even at my own self, I'm even competing against myself on the trap line.
Okay.
So you know what I mean? So if last year I came in and I used XYZ lure, I maybe want to come at them on a different angle because let's give them a different look the following year,
And there's always going to be those ones that get by you that don't get caught.
Oh, you bet.
And they remember.
Reasons. Yeah.
They remember.
They get old coyotes for a reason and stuff. So, but anyway, I appreciate you stopping.
Well, thank you. I'll tell you what. I think, like I said, I'm going to hate to ever call you because that phone is going to be hours and hours.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you again.
Yes, nice seeing you.
And I'm SES Outdoors, so hopefully this will be posted in a week or so.
That'll be fine. I'll look you up.
Okay, thank you. Hi. Okay, that's my first building.